Good afternoon, good morning, good evening, whatever it is. It is Sunday, November 9th. This is going to be a timeless kind of episode. So let me just show you kind of the scene. I did a newsletter, and it is for Trendspider's Black Friday sale. But if there's a sale going on and if this one lives, it is what it is. But this is about using charts. And charts are the way I look at the stocks, find the best entry, find the best exit, trim, buy, sell, whatever you want to do. And you see me use it. Trendspider's having a Black Friday sale. It is the best sale of the year. And I can't say this enough. If it's within your budget, get the advanced. Why? Because you get 52 training sessions per year. Here's the formula that I want you to do. 6420 times 12, and then divide that by 52. That's the amount that you're going to pay for each session, one-on-one Zoom session with a product expert. Yes, you can go down to $41.58 per month. The $20 per month, skip lunch a couple of days at Chipotle every month. Again, the 52 training sessions are worth it for a year if you are new. And if you're new to trading on technicals, then yes, this is not going to be a full course of technical trading. But it is going to be 5 reasons why you should learn technical basis and the 5 indicators that I think you should use. And it's not just me. I went to Perplexity and I said, can you tell me the top 5 reasons a stock investor, not trader, might use stock charts, and what are the top 5 indicators used in charts? And Perplexity answered it for me. And I typed out my thoughts on this. Again, I am old. I'm 55 years old. I can remember days when I used to have to go down to either the library or to the brokerage office to look at a chart. And FYI, the guy I was paying $50 to buy a stock for me or $50 to sell a stock for me was showing me a chart of a stock he really wanted me to buy. So he was invested in that. So again, today it's so much easier and it's so much better. And so Black Friday sale, again, if you're just learning this, I always tell people, go out and get a free tool. Go and get Webull. Go and get Robinhood. You can get them on Linktree. You can sign up for them over here. Either one, Webull or Robinhood. But again, get yourself a desktop software that will do this. And here it is. Charts aren't just for traders. I agree with this statement that I typed in here. If Warren Buffett were learning about trading today or investing, I'm convinced he would include a section of technical trading in his work. The market reacts faster than it did just 10 years ago. You can see Robinhood has opened up 24-hour trading. So let's go over these top 5 reasons you should use stock charts. 1, price trends. I can take a look at this chart. This is in my 4-hour algorithm, and you see me use this on the podcast every day. I can just take a look at the chart and say, we're in an upward trend. Ever since April, we're in an upward trend. That's a 4-hour. I can move to a daily and say, you know what? These moving averages, the long-term 200-day, the medium-term 50-day, and the 9 and the 20, they're all telling me that we're in an upward trend. And you move to a weekly and I've got that trend line bar right there. And I say, we're in an upward trend. And you hear me say it all the time. We're in a bull market until you're not. Why? Because price trends and chart patterns. Now, chart patterns, I am not a fan of. Okay? I'm not a huge fan as much, but I am not very good at recognizing the patterns, which Trendspider does for you automatically. You can see right here, chart patterns, broadening, ascending, asymmetrical. It will draw it on your chart automatically. I have a triangle ascending and descending, and it draws it on there automatically. Okay, all of those are automatic. You can even ask Sidekick up here to draw you chart patterns. But why do you want chart patterns? Because statistically, they can help you make a better decision. And you're going to hear this in all 5. All of this helps me make better decisions on when to buy, when to sell, when to hold, when to trim, or when to add to a position in my portfolio. Whether it's an ETF or a single stock, again, charts help you. So chart patterns, they help you. If I identify a cup and handle or a broadening ascending wedge, then I can tell what my decision might want to be. It's not 100%, but again, charts are about making better decisions when to buy, sell, hold, trim, or add to a position. And it's not just for traders, it's for investors as well. And then support and resistance. You see me all the time draw these yellow lines on the 4 hour. Okay, those yellow lines that I draw, those are support and resistance. And I am a very basic technical trader. So I just want to look for, similar to a trend line, you want to touch as many points as you can. And if it touches as many points, then you can tell that's either support, where it bounces down from and then bounces up, or it's resistance, where it goes up to and then pulls back. One of the best ones that I can tell you is AMD. This was a recent weekly chart that I posted. And I got this support at 164 from my previous all-time high in 2021. And I took a look at that. And I said the MACD is extended, and we'll go over this later, but the MACD is extended, the RSI is there. Again, you're painting a picture. And what's happened the last time these indicators were there? Well, you can see from the trend lines, we're in an upward trend. But what has happened? Again, charts can tell a story. And that's what you're looking to do. So for support and resistance, you can clearly see where it's going to be resistance. And historical price action, you can go back. Stocks are basically an indicator of history. You can't tell what the future is, but the best predictor of the future is the past. If I can identify something that's happened in the past, like a 40-60% pullback when the MACD was up there and the RSI was up there, like a 40% pullback when the MACD was up there and the RSI was there, and you're hitting resistance again, and boom, it pulls back again. Historical price action and better timing. Again, these are 5 reasons why you want it, not 5 things to do. Better timing. I have bought things. Everybody has heard somebody on the internet or in their personal life, you need to buy this stock. You need to sell this stock. It's going out. We all have been there. In fact, I got a message last night about Meta. Okay. Is it a good time to buy Meta? Well, my answer was the 4-hour algorithm has you out. But I can tell you just from looking at this chart and knowing the formula of the 4-hour algorithm, it's going to get you back in pretty damn soon. That's when I'll be buying. So when a friend tells you, hey, or asks you, is it a good time to buy? You can tell them I'm not buying until the 4-hour algorithm tells me to. Again, it's not about knowing the future. It's about making better decisions. And that's the 5 reasons all support that. It's about making better decisions when to buy, sell, hold, trim, or add to any position, whether it's a stock or ETF. So let's talk about the top 5 indicators and charts. The first one, and remember, and I pointed this out, this is like baking a cake, okay? You can't just use one indicator, even though you can, but it's not going to give you a full picture. You need multiples. And the first thing I'll point out are moving averages. And you see these lines on a chart, okay? These may look like foreign objects to you if you don't understand it. And if you don't know my setup, they may look like foreign objects. So you may think, I don't want to look at this chart because I don't. The point of getting Trendspider is getting a chart that works for you. So I have the 200-day here. I can see long term, this is a good stock. It's QQQ. And again, on a weekly chart, long term, we're in an upward trend. So moving averages are super important. And if you don't know whether you want an SMA or an EMA or what number, do you want a 200-day? Do you want a 50? Do you want a 9? Do you want a 21? Do you want a 5? Do you want an 8? Go and have a conversation with AI. It doesn't make sense for me to tell you what averages I use and then you to follow it unless you understand why. And that's the key. And by the way, part of the additional ones are my Trendspider setup, additional newsletter that I've linked down at the bottom. Those are my setups. That's what I have on the screen. Now, the second indicator that I think you must use is RSI. Okay? RSI is relative strength index, and it's on the bottom of every chart that I post, every chart that I look at. I want RSI. Relative strength index tells you from a 0 to 100. 0 means sellers have just sold this out and buyers need to show up. Remember, the market is a balancing act. For every stock that you sell, there's a buyer on the other side. For every stock that you buy, there's a seller on the other side. So this RSI balances that, and it wants to be that balance on the left and the right. Well, when you're at 30, it's considered the sellers have shown up. So it's oversold. Now, when you're at 70, it's considered, hey, everybody's buying this one. Nobody's selling. So sellers need to show up. It's that balancing act. And when you see this move from here in November 2021, from a 72 down to May of 2022 at 31, it means the stock is going to go down because sellers are showing up. They're selling pressure on the actual stock or ETF. So RSI is incredibly important to know. I always say, hey, it's in no man's land because it's between 30 and 70. You can kind of tell where it's at, kind of tell where it's going. Again, a trend. And Bollinger Bands. I love Bollinger. John Bollinger, by the way, is on Twitter. So you can ask him anything you want about Bollinger Bands. These are these light blue shading that you can see. And when you see this, when it contracts, like right here, the stock is going to move a little bit. Okay. You don't know if it's going to move up or down, but you can use other indicators to try and help you. Well, the MACD is right on the oscillator. It's a little bit above. We know we're in an upward trend. We know we're good. At this point, we know we're trading at the top of the Bollinger Band and they're expanding out. Right? And then you had COVID and boom, it's at the bottom. You didn't know where the bottom was, but FYI, the RSI was at 30 on a weekly candle right here on March 16th, with identified the low. The MACD dipped down below the oscillator and then dipped back up. So again, you're baking a cake, but Bollinger Bands tell me, hey, the move might happen. If it's trading at the top of the Bollinger Bands, maybe we're going to have a little pullback. If it's trading at the bottom of the Bollinger Bands, maybe we're going to have a little buying spree. And then my favorite, the MACD. Let me just change this. The moving average divergence convergence. This is my absolute favorite. If I had one indicator to use for the rest of my life, it would be this. Okay? Do yourself a favor and don't let me explain this to you because I am by far not an expert on this. I know how I use it and why I use it, but take 20 minutes. And go and just Google and go and watch some YouTube videos on the MACD, because this is one of the most important indicators that I use. And again, it's just, you see these two lines. There's a signal line and a strike line. You see these green and red. That's the oscillator. Again, do yourself a favor. That is an important one. I love it. It's very simple to understand. It's very easy to learn. Go and take 20 minutes and go and learn about it. Volume indicator. Now I use the volume slider. And you'll see this little blue line right here on this. And in Trendspider, I like to use these what's called volume shelves. And it tells you where there are buyers and where there are sellers and where the volume action is coming from and what people are willing to pay for a stock or ETF. And that's what it tells me. It tells me, hey, people bought the dip back here in 2022. And it tells me, are they buying way up here? Well, not as much. You need to have a consolidated space. So the volume shelf, right now, I would say, hey, if we pulled back and we had a major pullback, the first line of defense from a price standpoint would be 533. Again, learn the biggest one where people are just buying and holding. Ironically, it's that December 2021 high right there. You can see the line just crosses. If we just put a line across, you can kind of see how it outlines just from right there. More people bought this dip than they have bought since then. Okay. If you move this volume indicator right here to this dip, which was 2025, did people buy the dip? No, people are buying more. I'm going to remove that horizontal line. People are buying more up here than they did buy this dip. So nobody bought the dip. There were very few people who bought the dip. Again, price action is telling you it's going to stay up here. So do I expect to pull back? I don't expect to pull back. Again, we can go over the market. It is what it is. But that's the way I use the volume indicator. So there's 5 indicators you can use and you can study. The conclusion, everybody should have a charting program. You need one. In today's world, it just helps you make better decisions on when to buy, hold, let me get this. When to buy, sell, hold, trim, or add to a position. Again, that's the key. And at the end of this, I put in additional newsletters that you can read. This is my Trendspider setup, a detailed look, part number 2. And then confirmation, MACD, button hook, algorithm, what the terms I use means. And part 2, cross up, RSI, Bollinger Band, leverage DTF, PE, golden cross, all of the things that I do on my podcast. Again, most of this is using charts. And so this newsletter is more just about the Black Friday sale with Trendspider, but it's going to live on because it's 5 reasons you should learn this stuff. And if it's within your budget, go for the advanced. If this is after the 9th of November, then go and look at the prices of Trendspider, because this is the best tool. I can tell you the integrations that they have with what's happening now, stock market cap, all the custom indicators you can build, the AI strategy lab, and Sidekick can tell you, okay, what am I seeing on this chart? So if you don't know, you can go and ask it. I had it find a swing trade strategy for me with CIFR that I have. So again, this is a tool that will come in handy. And it's not just about how much money you make. It's about how much money you save, because when the downturn actually happens, you're going to be ahead of the game because you can make better decisions. Because maybe, like in the case of AMD, and I point this out, the weekly chart, I got an email from a newsletter subscriber who said, you just saved me hundreds of thousands of dollars. Why? Because we saw the pattern. And I said, hey, the last time and I just drew a horizontal line right there on the RSI. The last time we saw the RSI hit this level at 75, above 75, we saw it pull back, and you saw the MACD pull back. Well, now we're starting to see the MACD pull back, and we may have a 40% pullback. They just saved themselves 15% over the last week after earnings, because I said, even if earnings are pristine, A, it's fundamentally an expensive stock, and B, we've seen this chart pattern before. So again, it made me enough money that if I were a paying customer, that $64.20 a month for the next year, it would have been paid for. So again, whether you're interested in Trendspider or not, get yourself a chart program. If you have any questions, I'm right here. Everything's on Linktree, or you can just reply to this email. Okay, take care. See you. Bye.
Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a single show. Sign up for the newsletter, let us help you grow. Taking risks, making moves, seeking success. Together we'll conquer, no room for any less. Every morning I wake up to the sound of the trading bell. My heart starts to pound. Daily stock pick trading podcast in my ears, guiding me through my hopes and fears. Tune in daily, don't miss a